Hi and welcome to this week's Ask Charlie. With autumn here and winter fast approaching, I thought it'd be really helpful this week if I chatted through some important things that I think you should do to be prepared. You know, from chimneys to logs, you name it. I'm going to just chat and run through with you what I do to be prepared. So please do remember to subscribe if you haven't and to ring the bell to be notified of my weekly videos. So being prepared for winter. The first thing I'm going to chat to you about is actually cars. It's important to get your tyres checked, whether they need to be changed to winter tyres or just checked to make sure that they are fine. Make sure you've got enough air in them. The autumn leaves and wet leaves on the road can be incredibly slippery, so it is really crucial to check your tyres. And also, while we're talking about cars, make sure you've got a scraper and de-icer at the ready. I know it's not cold like that at the moment, but it often catches us out, those frosty early mornings. Now, I know that I have already talked to you about getting your chimneys swept. It is so unbelievably important to make sure that they are swept. There are so many chimney fires and it's really easy to avoid. So that is unbelievably crucial. I actually book mine in for the end of August, early September, but just before you light your first fire. So if you haven't had your chimney swept, please get that done. And then make sure that you've got enough wood or fuel, whatever you use on your fire or your wood burner, whatever it may be. Make sure that you have got that ordered and you've got a delivery and you are well stocked. Talking about ordering things, oil. That's really crucial that you make sure you have oil. So many people run out. Have a spare canister just in case. Do check it, do order it. Mouse traps, it may sound random, but when it gets colder, little rodents like to come inside to keep warm. So we've had a plethora of spiders, daddy long legs, and there have been a few signs actually outside of mice in the garage. So whatever you use, whether it's traps or bait, whatever your preference is, be prepared for those as well. Checking your gutters. So this is something that needs to be done as the leaves start falling and throughout until they've stopped, until sort of mid-winter. You really need to check those on a regular basis. So make sure there's nothing blocking them. We often have a tennis ball in our gutter as well. Make sure there's no blockages, so when that rain comes, you're prepared. And check your drains as well. Really important to make sure that the water can drain away properly. You don't want to be starting the winter with blocked drains. So then it's really important to have your boiler serviced. Just make sure it's working properly before winter really kicks in. And talking about boilers being serviced, it's crucial as well to bleed your radiators and make sure that they are all working as well. You don't want to be freezing unnecessarily if you can book that in to be checked. Now this is pretty gross, I know, but it is important. If you have a cesspit, a Clochester, a biodigester, whatever it may be, check that it is working properly. Our chap actually came yesterday. Make sure, and ours wasn't working properly, and he said if I hadn't have come, it would have been backing up. So make sure that you are on top of that. We once had a cesspit which had a hole in it, so when it rained, it filled up and it was just horrific. So something to be mindful of, to check that. You may be on main sewage and you don't even need to think about it. Lucky you. Roof tiles. Really something to check that they're all in place, all in order, and you're not going to have any nasty leaks when the bad weather sets in. So just have a look around your property, check that all the roof tiles are in place, and get somebody in if they're not, or you can't see and you need them to be checked properly. It's also important to have grit or rock salt, something like that. So if it's really icy, really snowy, you can grit your paths and not slip over, and have a shovel at the ready as well. We haven't had heavy snow for ages. I think the last time we had heavy snow in England, it was the beast from the east. But it's good to be prepared. So keep a bag, because when we get that weather forecast, weather warnings to say it's going to be awful, everyone goes out and panic buys it. So get it now, be prepared, be organised, and then you're not going to be in a situation where it's icy or snowy and you can't get hold of any of it. Now this may not be relevant to you, but hedges. I make sure that our hedges are booked in to be cut early autumn, after all the birds have flown the nest and you're not disturbing them. I don't want to leave them too late into winter actually, because the ground is wet and then the garden, the verges and the fields get really badly churned up. So that's something to think about as well if it applies to you. And last but not least, so unbelievably important, be prepared for power cuts. So make sure that you have got batteries for your torches. Make sure you know where they are to find them in the dark. Make sure you have got ones upstairs, ones downstairs. Candles, if you use those, can be dangerous though. Just be prepared for power cuts. And I hope that you have found this helpful. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you guys again next week, and have a brilliant weekend. Lots of love.